Warm greetings of the dear students. Today we are going to proceed our chapter number 19 with the subtopic heat zones of the earth. Students, in my last video I explained you that latitudes help us to explain the heat zones of the earth. How? That we are going to see in this topic. So again we have our friend Drildeck and Robono. What are heat zones? Again, Dildek has a question. Robono. Heat zones are the temperature belts on Earth. The heat zones are showing temperature belts, showing temperature with the help of the latitudes. The 5 important lines of latitudes that we just learnt about divide the Earth into temperature zones. So I already explained you what is equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, what is northern hemisphere, what is southern hemisphere, how do we write the degrees in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So this will help us to find out the heat zone of the earth. Areas falling in these zones have the same temperature condition. So they are going to divide our earth in different zones because of the temperature, because they are having same temperature, though they are going to show them heat zones of the earth. Dildak. It means there are different zones that develop due to different temperature condition on the earth. It means we have divided the earth according to their temperature, according to their heat, which they are getting from the sun, main source of the heat and light. Robuno. Yes, on the basis of the amount of heat received from the sun and hence the temperature condition that prevail in the region, the earth is divided into 3 heat zones. First is torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Now we will see how we have divided, how we are using these imaginary lines to divide the earth in the heat zones. Students, first you see the diagram on here. So we have 2 torrid zones. One is in northern hemisphere, one is in southern hemisphere. Again we have 2 temperate zone. One is in northern hemisphere, one is in southern hemisphere. And we have frigid zones also too. One is in the southern hemisphere, one is in the northern hemisphere. And we also know the names also. And axis join our earth with the north pole and with the south pole. And frigid zone is upside of the Arctic Circle. Temperate zone is upside the Tropic of Cancer. Equator is nearby places of the equator is nearby in the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. And last is Antarctic Circle. From Antarctic Circle, downside part is frigid zone. So we have 2 frigid zone in northern and southern. We have 2 temperate zones, northern and southern. We have 2 torrid zone, northern and southern. I think diagram is clear. Now we are going to see what is torrid zone. The area between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer we have in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn we have in the southern hemisphere. So this part which are showing on the diagram, dark blue color, it's showing that receives the maximum amount of heat throughout the year. So throughout the year. In the torrid zone, sun rays comes directly in this region. Directly sun rays come in the torrid zone. At least one in a year, the midday sun is exactly overhead in this zone. Have you listened? One day in the year जब longest या biggest day होता है, तो that day means on that day the rays are directly come on the head in the noon time. Therefore this is the hottest zone. तो torrid zone कैसा है? Hottest, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो rays आ रही हैं sun की direct आ रही हैं बच्चे, और इसका अदर नेम है torrid zone. I think clear torrid zone. Now come to the temperate zone. Upside of torrid zone in northern and southern hemisphere, we have two temperate zones. The rays of the noon sun never fall directly on the latitudes beyond the torrid zone. So we are having direct sun rays only in the torrid zone. And in the temperate zones, we are not getting the direct sun rays, we are getting the sun rays slanting. Slanting means टेढ़ी आती है. We find moderate climate that is neither too hot nor too cold. तो यहाँ का torrid zone तो बहुत ज़्यादा hot है. We are also in the torrid zone, but half India is in the torrid zone, half India is in the temperate zone. तो now you see जो टेम्परेट जोन है नदर्न एंड सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, यहाँ का टेम्परेचर कैसा बेटा, नॉट वेरी हॉट नॉट वेरी कोल्ड. द जोन इन विच द क्लाइमेट कंडीशन आर मॉडरेट मीन्स मॉडरेट कंडीशंस हैं जहाँ पे ना ज़्यादा गर्मी है ना ज़्यादा सर्दी, तो उस टेम्परेचर जोन को क्या बोलते हैं, टेम्परेट जोन. इन द नदर्न हेमिस्फीयर द टेम्परेट zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle. So if you see northern hemisphere, so we have Tropic of Cancer and we have Arctic Circle. The between part what is? It is temperate zone. Why? Not very cold, not very hot, because of the slanting rays of the sun. And we have southern hemisphere. Here temperate zone is between the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle. So this is the temperate zone. Now the frigid, fridge, freeze, everything is freeze, means only snow is there. As we move further from the temperate zone, it means हम जब temperate zone से बच्चे नॉर्थ पोल या साउथ पोल की साइड जाएंगे, we see the rays of the sun are slanting and do not reach the earth with full intensity. It means जो हमारी रेज हैं, जैसे जैसे हम नॉर्थ पोल की साउथ पोल की साइड जाएंगे, रेज और स्लैंटिंग होती जाएंगी, तो वी आर गेटिंग द लाइट, बट जो उसकी हीट है, पार है, जो सन की हीट रेज की पार है, हीट पार है, वो स्लो हो जाएगी. इट मीन्स सबसे कम टेम्परेचर हो जाएगा इन द फ्रिजिड जोन. This part of the earth receive very less sunlight, remains extremely cold. Less sunlight means बहुत कम sunlight जाती है because of slanting rays, or that's why temperature is very low and it is temperature in the minus. Therefore this zone is known as the frigid zone. In the south, the frigid zone lies between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole. So you see southern hemisphere, Antarctic Circle, and between the South Pole, that area we say it is the frigid zone. And in the northern hemisphere, it is between Arctic Circle and North Pole. Frigid zone is the coldest part of the earth. Have you seen maybe on the TV or somewhere else that glaciers, big ice sheets, some parts, और वो parts कहाँ पे हैं? Glaciers are where? Near to the North Pole and the South Pole. The continent of Antarctica lies in the South Frigid Zone. Antarctica is in the South Frigid Zone and Arctic Ocean lies in the North Frigid Zone. So knowledge of latitudes of an area helps to know about the heat zone. The latitudes where helps? They helps in to find the heat zones of the earth. So, and it helps to find the location. But if we know about the location, we want to find the location of any place. So how it is possible to find the proper position of the place with the help of only latitudes? No, it is not possible. We should know about the longitudes also, because longitudes and latitudes both tells us the proper place of the area. So now we are again we have the oil joints. See, one bulb is there, one lamp is there, and the direct rays are light is going on the center of the globe. So these are the direct rays. And if you see near the North Pole or the upside of the equator on the globe, they are having slanting lines. So that's why center part is the torrid zone of the earth and side temperate and frigid. So this experiment you also able to do at home with the help of lamp and earth, and tell me the result. How do you feel when you did this experiment? Now you come to the practice zone number 2. Name the heat zone of the earth. So I already explained, we have 3. You have to try to do yourself. Why is torrid zone the hottest zone? Already explained, because of the rays, direct angle or the slanting. You have to think and write. Which is the coldest part of the earth and why? Coldest part already explained, near the North Pole and South Pole. Why? Again, reason you have to write, direct rays of the sun or the slanting rays. You have to try these questions yourself. Thank you, students.